Ja, dafür haben wir einen Gewissen. Aber wie gewiss ist der Gewissen, das weiß ich auch. Das weiß ich für mich selbst.
We all just people, life oh so lethal. Trying to drown my brain in something illegal. I don't play no games if they foul, no free throws. Yo, these hands
You've
gon'
always
fly like a trip to
been
the
a solid person,
Thank you.
and I'm excited to get to know you more.
Thank you.
Mr. 37s.
37s, indeed.
I don't know why that's always been your name in my phone is Cam 37s.
Middle, first, and last name have 7 letters. I will not be revealing them. I will not be revealing my full government, but my full name has all 3 names have 7 letters. So that always stuck with me, and I have a memory from 4th grade going up to my teacher, being like, "Hey, I was 7 at the time, and I was like, I have 4 7s today," and she was like, "Yeah, cool, whatever, you know." But like I remember like noticing like I had 3 7s in my name from a very young age. So like that, I know 7 is a lot of people's lucky number, but for me it's different. Like it's inbred in me. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. So I guess the only thing I don't know is your middle name. So maybe we'll just.
Charles.
That's not 7 letters.
CHARLES.
CHARLES. Oh.
Idiot.
Holy shit! All right. Well, it's all coming together now.
Yeah.
I know you now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you do.
But we also got Chuck.
Chuck. I'll take Chuck.
How do you like the Malfoy of Rap?
The what?
The Malfoy.
The Malfoy
Draco
of Rap?
Malfoy of Rap.
See, I can take that. When Harry Potter was coming up as a kid, I was very blonde, and I got that as a kid so much.
You're not blonde anymore?
Well, I'm like dirty blonde now. It's more brown. You call me more of a brunette than anything.
I don't know if I've actually seen your hair.
Yeah, I know. I'm always wearing a beanie. Everybody always says that. I went into work. I will not talk about work. But yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
I've seen his hair.
From what I remember, it was blonde.
Yeah, it's usually dyed blonde, and that is a very obvious influence from my childhood in loving Eminem so much.
Mr. Mathers?
Mr. Mathers.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's usually dyed blonde. I've always looked better blonde. My mom has always complimented me, and I always look, you always take a mom's compliments to heart.
Hell yeah.
You look so good blonde, and I'm like, oh, I do. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So
That's
I've
me
always
forever
loved.
now.
Yeah, and it's been since I was 15. My mom helped me dye my hair when I was young. So like, and I did it as I was in college and everything. So it's just always been a thing.
That's always been a thing for me too.
Yeah,
I've always gone through periods of bleaching it out.
Yep,
So
I
it's
remember.
like-
And I remember you specifically when we did our first song together. Technically our first song together, Trading Fours. I had asked you to pick an athlete for the cover, and you had picked Jason Kidd in Phoenix when he was blonde.
Yeah.
And that had always stuck out to me because I had never known Jason Kidd was blonde at one point. And at the time, I wasn't that big into basketball yet, and I had never known Jason Kidd was a son.
Yeah.
So when you had picked that as an athlete, it stuck out to me. And then over time, when you had bleached your hair multiple times, I was always like, I always made that connection. I was always like, all right, Andre, I see you.
It's crazy. No, I think mine was probably from Eminem too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I think that was the main influence at that point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what little white kids isn't that first
I know.
discovers like that genre of rap?
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. I remember I had a childhood friend I met from church, and we used to do it together.
What-
Dustin.
You guys
Shout
used
out
to do it
Dustin.
together.
Yeah. We used to bleach our hair. And we'd just be 2 little gremlins in the Mormon church.
Just blonde,
Just blonded out.
bleached out. You were probably getting a lot of side eyes. I don't doubt that.
For sure. I need you to sign the back of this.
Beautiful.
We're going to start this off.
That is awesome.
So my dad engraved that piece of wood.
That is. I always love when there's familial ties.
So shout out my dad. But yesterday, I was tasked with painting it, and I needed paint. So I went to a Walmart, and I think that they moved everything around there. So I was walking through the aisles, and I couldn't find it. I was just,
Dude,
where the hell?
a lot of Walmarts are changing up right now, man.
Yeah, just let me feel comfortable shopping.
They don't want you to.
They want me to stay in there longer so I could buy more stuff. But
Yeah.
listen,
You got to figure
Thank
it
you.
out.
I like comfortability.
I've never ever practiced my autograph as Charles Hall, so that was you get a first exclusive. That is the first ever autograph I'm ever gonna give.
First of many, I hope to fill up that whole backside.
I hope.
Pause.
Pause.
All right, go ahead.
Shout out to Cam and Mace. No, but and it looks like I wrote my number 37. So I feel like an athlete at the moment. You know, I had to take that moment in. I had to think of a number that meant something to me, and I was like, oh, yeah, we were just talking about three sevens. So, yeah, I had to take that moment in. So, thank you.
Is that actually your basketball number?
37? No. It'd be either 7, 14, or 21. Whenever I get a 2K, I'd switch.
It's just a 7 thing?
It's just a 7 thing.
Okay, cool. But I was walking through the Walmart, and I was like, all right, I bet it's on the other side of this aisle. So I choose an aisle to walk down, and there's this, just like, I could feel the energy of this lady when I walked in there. She's this old, black, polite, like, just like this good-hearted lady.
Just
and
sweetheart.
I was like, dude, I got to walk by her. I got to say, excuse me. I was like, excuse me. And she's like, Jesus loves you.
And that's when you knew.
My response, I don't know if you've ever had like a moment where like the cashier's like, all right, the receipt's in the bag. Have a, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
yeah,
okay, you too.
Yeah, you too.
You're like thinking like they're telling you have a good day. So I was like caught off guard, and I was like, love you too. So I like did that sidestep. She said, Jesus loves you. I said, love you too. That's
very intimate.
I feel like dying. I wanted to go.
I mean, that's an intimate moment with a woman in Walmart. I mean, I feel like that's a moment to be sacred. That's a sacred moment.
I just knew love was in that aisle.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
You have to go back to that aisle.
It was the clearance aisle.
Love isn't cheap.
Ah, you gotta
but it might be at Walmart.
Bro, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
First collaboration. Was it Trading Fours or was it Same?
Yeah, I think it was Trading Fours because Same was on the deluxe. And I remember Trading Fours. Until recently, I've always loved bringing a lot of people together at once.
Yeah.
I remember the session for Trading Fours, I had everybody there. I think aside from Jay Reed. I don't think Jay Reed was there, but I had everybody. I know I had Tolis there. I know Donish was there. I know you were there, and everybody was.
For sure, Dan was there.
And Dan was there as well. And everybody was just there to create. Yeah. And it was, I don't know. It was such a cool moment, and fuck, I don't know why I started talking.
No, I'm really. Those type of moments live in my head.
But
I remember that. For sure.
But I remember that moment because it was the first time that we had worked together besides me in your apartment when I was in high school.
Oh yeah.
But I
was like
that,
2014, huh?
Yeah,
10 years ago.
That was 2015. It was 2015.
Okay.
I remember that. There. And the song was bonkers. It's still on SoundCloud with Adrian.
It's still on SoundCloud?
It's still on SoundCloud.
It's still on my hard drive.
Is it really?
I could go in there and edit the.
I remember that day. I literally could describe that room to you. I'm pretty sure you had a couch on the back wall if I was facing the desk with the computer on it. You had something hung up over the microphone so it could enclose around it. And then in that booth, you had a little thing itself, but the microphone was just right there. And I remember being so nervous. You can hear it in my voice in that song. I mean, I was really young at the time anyways, but you can hear me like trembling as I'm rapping because I was so nervous. Because I remember
it's weird to rap in front of someone else.
Oh my god! Well, I was 15 and you and I knew you had released music before, so in my head you were so about, you know what I mean? You're like Kanye to me at the time, you know. So I'm in there like, oh my gosh, like I'm a rookie, I don't know anything, you know. It was I don't know, I was a child, but it was such a cool moment. We've had many cool moments, but anyways, the point is, Trading Fours was our first collaboration. Same came afterwards.
I literally hate that song.
Same or Trading Fours?
Trading Fours.
Yeah, Trading Fours. I don't like. That one. I could do without Trading Fours.
Okay.
I understand that.
What's your gripe with it?
I just had some bars in there. I just don't. I could have took back.
Yeah.
Or I could have reworked.
What's your favorite one?
From that song?
Yeah.
If you can remember,
I don't know if I remember.
I was gonna say if you can remember your lyrics, that is impressive because I can't.
I don't remember any of those.
I can't remember anything from that song. I haven't listened to any of those old songs for a long time.
I went through and listened to I Lost My Shit. I Got My Shit Together. I guess the next one would be I Got My Shit Together. What was the newest?
Cigarettes
one you
and
did
Bell
last
Peppers.
year? cigarettes and bell peppers. Days before. So you got
Days
4?
after.
Days after.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
It's Days Before is Lucky, and I really like the concept of whenever he drops Days Before, something usually comes after it. In 2017 he dropped Days Before as a 2-song EP, and then Watch My Back came after it. And then in 2018 he dropped Days Before 2, and then a year later Freeway 3, and then Days Before 3 came after it. Anyways,
No way.
I've always liked that concept.
Okay.
It's Days Before is just such a same with Travis Scott, Days Before Rodeo. It's just it's a very cool 2-word. It just means something's coming.
Yeah.
So I wanted to derive from that without directly biting it. And I thought Days After was a cool concept because I want people to be waiting for what's to come after this. This is just a showcase of what's to happen right now. So I wanted to have that concept without directly biting it. Maybe I still did in a sense, but I just really, really love that. It just feels like something's coming. I love that feeling in a title.
I got really big into Lucky 2017, 2018.
For some reason, I remember reading
Alternative
Lucky.
Trap was
Alternative
the
Trap.
project that got me into him. And then I stayed with him for a little bit longer. I definitely had some Lucky influences. There's some, like, that was when, like, the conversation of mumble rap and, like, regular rap was like, nah, you can't do that. Lucky had, like, if you could find your way through the mumble, some bars.
I that's why when I mean, even still now, I'm a Lucky stan, so I listen to everything all the time still. But his early work is much more, as much as I hate to say this, lyric-y. You know what I mean? But like you're saying, there's so many gems. If you can get through that initial,
if you can pick up on his,
if you can just get through his style at first, because it's a hard. I remember showing one of my friends him at first, the first time I ever showed him, and he started laughing, and we were both really high at the time, and he said, "Is he falling asleep on the beat?"
Yes.
And I laughed so hard at that because, and I told my mom that story, and because I show her Lucky, and she said the same thing. Is he falling asleep?
Yep.
And she thinks it's so funny. But if
probably
you can
is.
get, it
I
probably
think it
is.
is.
Honestly,
I think it is.
nodding off, I don't doubt it. But if you can get through that, he has such. It really speaks to you, like if you can relate, and I do. I relate to a lot of his more dark, lonely.
You got to
stuff.
meet him too, right?
I did get to meet him in 2018. It was a moment I'll never forget. It was a very small. It was at the Rebel Lounge, I believe.
Okay.
And we were up close to him. There was no security. Like, if I wanted to, I could have like literally just touched his face. I would, you know what I'm saying? But I was that close.
Yeah.
And after he decided to stay around and interact with everybody who came with the show, which was rare. And he kind of just stood in a circle, and everybody kind of surrounded him, and everybody kind of took their turns talking to him. And it was a really humbling moment because I don't know, he really treated us like we were people.
That's cool.
And it was super, super cool because he still had his people around him and his security watching everything, but he was really talking to us and just conversing with us.
I love that.
Like poking jokes at us, making fun of people. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just
so
felt
it was
like-
really cool to meet him at that point because that was right before he really started to like take off. So
Definitely.
it was a really cool moment to get to meet him. And I have a picture with him, and in that picture you can see how excited I am. I was super,
That's
super
cool,
excited.
Man. It's always nice to be able to meet someone and like, you just have thoughts about the type of person that they are.
Yep.
But when you get the chance to meet them and they're actually dope and solid person,
I
it just
know.
makes it all that much better.
For real. And I know never to meet your idols, so I don't intend on meeting
Maybe
him
don't
too
meet
much,
him again.
hopefully, but because he's so high up there for me, you know what I mean? But the one time we met, it went great. I cracked a couple of jokes. I made him laugh a couple of times.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm cool for life. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So I can
cool.
live with myself.
Have you seen him recently?
In concert, I think the last time was 21, and I got COVID right after that concert.
Okay.
So I've kind of stayed away from concerts after that.
Dude, I saw him and Lil Yachty did a podcast together.
Yeah.
He's getting big.
He is getting big, and he raps it in one of his 2021 songs, Unlimited. He says, "We get high, we get fat," and I get that.
I get that.
I get that a lot
I get
because I don't do as hard of drugs as he does, but when I smoke weed,
sitting down and eating.
I'm sitting down and eating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if I wasn't such an active basketball player and like have love for the game,
Yeah.
I'd be getting high and I'd be getting fat. So I can't really slam him for getting big because that's what I would be doing. But I just love the game of basketball. So
put the basketball in his hands, or
he's tall enough.
maybe a golf club.
No, he's tall enough. He's like 6'3", 6'4".
Is he really?
Yeah, he's
Oh, I didn't
about
think
my
he's that
height.
tall.
Yeah, he's really tall.
There used to be a videographer from out here, Jake. I never met him,
Yeah.
but he did work with a lot of local guys. Some of the guys that I kind of look up to when I started rapping. And he did videos for him, and I saw he moved out to Chicago, and he started working with Lucky too.
Yep.
His videos are always crazy.
Yep. His videos are always nuts, and I love when he works with Jake.
Yeah. No, I think he's from like Awatuki or something.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I have a friend from there. I never thought I'd hear that ever again.
Yeah.
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 No, I never. No one knows what that is. You know what I mean?
It's like behind the mountain.
Yeah. Literally. So.
That's crazy. What was your? Do you have like an early favorite basketball memory?
So I didn't get into basketball until 2016. I was really big. I was really big in the Steve Nash years because my dad had put me on, and seeing them lose year after year, like to the Lakers and the Spurs, it was disheartening. And then I think about 2009, 2010 when their fall off started to happen is when I stopped watching as a kid because as a kid you want to be a front runner.
Yeah,
they were winning, so I was a fan.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they started losing, and I'm only 10, 11 years old. And I'm like,
Dragic took that front spot.
You know what I mean? I don't know what happened. But
do?
I remember specifically being in my friend's bedroom during the Game 7 of the 2016 finals. And I had just came over in time to watch Kyrie hit the shot over Steph Curry to take the lead. And then I think either the LeBron block came before that or after that. Maybe after. I'm not sure. I saw both the LeBron block and I think the LeBron block came first and then the Kyrie shot. Anyways, I saw both. And that was what really wanted me to, seeing how high stakes of a game that was and just seeing those two moments, not really knowing anything what's going on. Like, I knew who the players were, but, just, I don't know, that high stakes moment.
That doesn't,
just, oh, God.
You seem like someone that's been playing, your whole life. You just picked it up in 2016?
So, I played as a kid, but I remember going to freshman basketball tryouts and everybody had beards. Yeah. And I hadn't hit my growth spurt yet. I was still 5'8", 5'9", so everybody had beards and was 50 pounds heavier than me. So I had a panic attack and I called my mom. I was like, "You gotta come get me. I can't do this."
Really?
So I never played. I never played past probably the age of 13.
Did you play 8th grade for your school?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay. No high school though.
No high school. And then I stopped. And then in college is when I got back into it, and God, was I terrible, dog. People used to pick me last every single game, I swear. And I remember just airballing threes, missing layups, looking back, and my teammates are throwing their head up, why would you do that? I remember being terrible. So it's been a journey, but it's been fun.
That's cool, because I remember playing with you during COVID at a park.
Yeah, yep, I remember that too. I remember
you were balling out. I couldn't do anything with you, dude.
During COVID is when I got my shot. I had a mini basketball hoop in my apartment in Flagstaff. I was still in college. I swear to God, this is true. I hadn't played much basketball before this, but we had made with tape. We had made a mini basketball half court in our living room because we weren't allowed to leave. So we got a mini basketball hoop, and I stayed there for hours on end, practicing my wrist and keeping my other wrist straight, and that's what got my shot good. So after when parks started to open up again, I started going back and I started working just one-on-one on my drills and my step backs and stuff, and that's when I really started to get good. But I swear a mini basketball hoop helped me find my shot because it helped me just keep my other wrist straight.
What about your handles though?
That was hard.
That doesn't come from a Nerf ball.
No, that was hard. No, that was. That was no. We had such limited space. You know what I mean? There was not much to do with that. That is still a very much work in progress.
No, for sure. For
you
me
know
too.
what I mean?
I was always a 2-guard, so I would just hang out by the 3-point.
Yep. I got yelled at. I got yelled at so much as a kid.
Just by standing there?
Because at the time we weren't allowed to shoot threes. It was because it had only
the game
changed
is
recently.
get it down in the paint.
Exactly.
That was the game.
that was the game. Get in the paint, get a layup. So whenever I shoot threes, my coaches and everything would get mad at me. I swear to God, I would wait when halves were about to end. I'd wait until the last 5 seconds and then scream for the ball so I could be the last one shooting the 3-pointer before the buzzer ran out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And coaches used to get so mad at me, drive in, take it, but I wanted to be a 2-guard. I wanted to shoot the 3.
Let me be a splash brother.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But even before. So I guess we were just ahead of our time.
I guess so. It's one of those things. In 8th grade, I remember my coach pulled me out. We're playing this exhibition game. It wasn't even on our schedule. It's just like with another like charter school nearby. And we were probably up by like 30 in like the 4th.
Okay.
And,
so that's like let it fly time.
No, coach was like, all right, we're going to run our plays. Don't shoot. Pass the ball. I was like, coach, I'm wide open right now. I got this.
We're up by 30, coach.
We're up by 30. Let me shoot it. Nah, I pulled the trigger and I made it and he pulled me out. So I said, pass the ball, brother. He pulled me out.
I thank you for shooting it. I appreciate you for shooting it.
Yeah, I gotta hold it down.
Yep.
I gotta go off my gut.
Yep. There's nothing I hate more than a wide open person who won't shoot the ball. So I appreciate you even at a young age shooting that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Getting taken out. That's awesome.
I think it was Tyler uncle. That was my coach at that time.
I know the name.
Okay.
But I don't.
No, dude,
I don't know the face.
That dude, I want to talk to him on here one day.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Yeah, it'd be cool to talk to him. He's done some cool stuff. He went and played in China. Now he's coaching like club teams, high school teams.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. So that'd be fun. That'd be a fun conversation.
Yeah, bro. I would love to hear what playing in China is like.
I know, right?
I bet it's electric. Those stadiums are huge.
They are.
Seriously. When the NBA went to China that one time, Jeff Teague was telling a story on his podcast, but he said there's like 100,000 people that came out or I don't know what team he was on at the time. Yeah, but it was a Warriors versus whatever team Jeff Teague was on, and he said there was about 100,000 people in the crowd.
Does he still play?
No, he retired, I think, after he won his ring with the Bucks in 21.
He's got a ring?
Yeah, he's got a ring. He won a ring with the Bucks.
No way.
Yeah, when they beat the Suns.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
I know.
It's kind of shocked.
He's really funny.
Is
His stories are hilarious.
Okay.
He has his podcast is hilarious. I see like video clips all the time on my Instagram feed, and his stories are unmatched.
He's got his own podcast?
Him and a couple buddies do. Yeah, and like just it's kind of like, have you ever heard Iman Shumpert tell stories about the NBA?
No.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Honestly,
I gotta start
like the
linking
only
you, bro.
only one I really listened to is Paul George.
I love Paul George.
Paul George is fun.
I love Paul George.
And then he just had Vince Staples on.
Oh, did he really?
Hilarious. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Vince Staples is always funny.
Yeah.
I actually don't want to say too much about Vince Staples.
I know, right? I'm scared to.
I'm scared to say anything about Vince Staples. I'm gonna stop saying anything about Vince Staples.
He's gonna come at me 10 times harder.
I'm not saying nothing. I stop.
All respect.
Mm-hmm. Big respect.
How many lives have you lived?
Sometimes I feel like 30, and sometimes I feel like this is my first. Sometimes
when it feels like your first, do you feel like you've been there?
When it feels like my first, it feels like nothing I've ever experienced. It just feels like complete bliss. Like it's like the little moments. It's mainly in moments of nature for me. It's so humbling. I can't explain it. I really can't put it into words.
I just got a picture when you said that.
It can be as little as I have a nest growing on my patio. I watched baby pigeons lay eggs and them hatch because I didn't believe in baby pigeons.
So they're actually not
government
drones?
So they're not government drones. I have videos. I took like, it's like Nat Geo in this bitch, I swear to God. Dude, I swear, because I let them make the nest. At first I was like, I don't want them shitting all over my patio.
Fair.
But I wanted to see baby pigeons. So I let them make a nest. And they're yellow when they're chicks.
Really?
They're yellow like ducks when they're chicks.
No
and then
way.
they grow out of the yellow and they grow into,
Just
rats.
gray. Yeah.
Yeah. But, it could be that, like, certain moments, I would watch the dad when they were teenagers. I would watch the dad try to teach them how to fly. Like certain moments like that, it's like a feeling that comes over me just for a split second, like moments of nature that it just makes me feel like this is my first time experiencing such things.
That's cool.
And then, but with moments with people,
Mm-hmm.
like reading some people or just in conversations or just thinking about people, I just feel like an old soul sometimes because
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I've dealt with every situation with people that I can. That's a really
That's
poor way
good.
of explaining it. But
Nah.
anytime, I don't know, it's just anytime I deal with people, I feel like I'll always know what to say or I'll always know what to do just because I've lived a situation similar to it before.
I can sense that.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And not to brag, but my therapist calls me an old soul. So
Yeah?
I like to think I am. No, I'm just
certified.
playing. You know what I mean?
Certified.
Therapist. No, I'm just playing. But
Can't argue
I
that.
really do feel as such sometimes.
Damn, that's cool, man. I feel like I'm probably on like my 7th.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Why 7?
it's a good number.
It is a good number.
You just pick that number.
Nah, I feel like I know some things, but I feel like I also have no idea about some things. Like, just getting myself into situations where I don't feel fully prepared on how to do it, but I know in my head the right way to do it, but I don't know how to like make the action the right way.
I know what you're
Does that
talking
make
about.
sense?
Yes.
So it's like, let me get a couple more rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let me keep trying it. That's kind of like part of the intention of this podcast too, is like, I was talking with one of my old, I think it was like 7th, 8th grade friends is when I met him. He's got a podcast. It's called Mediocre Dads. And he asked me, he was like, well, just make sure you know your why. I was like, all right, cool. So I took some time to think about it. And I was like, I feel like this is more for personal development. And I feel like I learn more about myself as I learn more about other people. So that's what...
I really love that outlook.
You know, I think there's
Genuinely.
a sense of me that has like a social anxiety. And my therapist told me to fucking go at it. He was like, all right, find out what you're anxious about, what makes you uncomfortable, and just go right at it. So I think that's kind of the intention, you know?
I do.
I like sharing my side and my perspective, and I feel like I got some good thoughts, but I also like to hear other people. And I don't feel like I'm someone that's just firm in who they are. I feel like I'm pretty loose, and the new information that I get from other people help kind of like
Mold you and grow you
like,
as a person.
oh, that's not something I'm fully into. So I know myself, so I can go this way. Or that's really cool. I like the way that he thinks about that. Let me bring this into my life. You know?
That's how I view things.
So that's the
It's a very plastic way of viewing things.
plastic.
Yeah, plasticity in the sense of
yeah.
like it can move very. It bend. It can be flexible. It can grow. It can shrink. You know what I mean? So I view conversations. I view experiences the same way, even bad ones. My mom and my dad were very big on that as a kid. Always look for a lesson. Always find the reason. It sucked as a kid, getting told that, not being coddled. But it helped every time anytime, any bad thing, any good thing, any conversation, anything that sticks out to me, like I always try to adapt it into my life. I always try to think about it more than just at face value.
I like the approach that your parents had with that. Was any of that influenced by God or a religion?
No, my parents were religious, but my parents are not. They're not atheists. They believe, but they didn't force it upon us. That's what they didn't force us to be religious. They gave us a choice as a kid, which I really respected, and I thought that was very futuristic thinking of them at the time, because my parents were very hard on us as kids, but they gave us choices that I really respect to this day, and they gave us the choice of whether we wanted to pursue. They took us to church, and they asked us if we were interested when we were kids, and we did, and we went, but when we started to grow up, we started to go away from it, and so I would answer that with probably, honestly, because their parents were so hard on them religiously, you know, like about lessons and everything, reading the Bible. So I'm sure that probably derived from them, but they didn't force it on us in a religious sense.
That's cool. No, we were definitely up until 18. You know, I was going to church, and that was interesting because it always felt like if I messed up, it was like, I'm going to hell,
Right.
you know?
Right.
I felt like I didn't have like a grounded, realistic way to like process it. It always felt like a existential, like theological lesson for me to learn, not like a self-development. You know, because I feel like sometimes when it comes to that, it's like public perception. How am I gonna let other people know that I'm worthy to this idea that everyone else around me has in my expectations for me? And it at a certain point, that's like taxing.
Yeah.
Feeling like you got to put on some kind of face for the other people around you. And that was interesting. From 18 till now, you know, I feel like there's a whole different mindset and shift in who I am that, in a sense, I had to break from it to learn the harder facts of life, to kind of return to an idea that maybe there is a God, and maybe that the reasons why I go through these things is to learn the best way to navigate them, in like an authentic and real sense of trying to maintain good relationships, good friendships. I don't know. Like if you think about Jesus and his example, I think that that would be a good, you know, goal to strive for, to try and be as a person in 2024.
Right.
But in a genuine and authentic sense, not where I have to shun the darker sides of me. I can still accept them and navigate them in a healthy way. But that's cool that you had kind of like that. Like maybe that was like a little seed in their head, but they knew the realistic parts of life and they let you grow from that and have your own journey.
They treated us as adults from a very young age, which comes with its benefits and its consequences.
Mhm.
But for some things like choosing whether we wanted to be religious or not is something I'll be ever eternally grateful for, because I have very close friends and friends of close friends who I've seen forcefully be put in a situation where they don't want to be,
Mhm.
you know, and it's very taxing, you know, it takes a toll on them. So I'll forever be eternally grateful for my parents giving me that choice so young.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
That's awesome. I know.
And I have a question for you real quick.
Yeah.
So in rediscovering your journey, because I believe in a higher power, I believe in a God. I don't believe in religion, but I believe in a God.
Mm-hmm.
So in your second journey, in a sense, from 18 until now, into your rediscovery of what you perceive to be God,
Mhm.
do you feel grateful for the first 18 years and all the lessons that you were able to learn through scripture and implementing that into finding your rediscovery into
100%.
do you get what I'm trying to say? Or do you feel like you wish you could have gone your first 18 years differently? Do you feel like it was more of a waste in your journey, or do you feel like it more benefited in how you are now?
No, I don't regret any of it.
Good.
I really like the person that I am now,
I think you should.
and that was like a hard road to get to. It didn't happen easily. There's a lot of wrestling with myself and trying to figure that out. But as you go through like the hard times of life, there's like you have to look up.
You have to.
You reach a point where you have to look up, and you can't just stay down. You can't let it beat you. So you're gonna figure out how to make it work. And to me, the only way to do that was by reverting back to what I know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just kind of start to think about things through the lens of younger me. Think of the lens that a future me and what I want to, the man that I want to become, you know, years down the road. You kind of learn where your values are.
You always got to look to your younger self.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to. Your younger self knows best.
Definitely. And you got to like save space for that little guy.
You have to.
You know? You always want to like feel like your younger self looks at you as like that guy.
Yeah.
Yep. All the time.
And you have to make sure that part feels validated. You know what I mean? Because when I was young, I wanted to be making music, and I am. You know what I mean? And when I was young, I wanted to still be doing art. I wanted to still be friends with Dan. It's stuff like that, and like I still am. So, I'm not where I wanted to be financially. I thought I'd already be famous and rich, which is what here and there. But I have to take my wins where I can, and I know my younger self would be very proud because I'm still me. I still dress like me. I still talk like me. I still have the friends. I still have people. I'm still me.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I always, and my younger self I still have so many dreams, but when you're younger, it's different. Your dreams, they consume you. My dreams still consume me, but when you're young, it's different. It's a drive. It's a passion. It's something like I genuinely believe still, but it's a youth belief. You know what I mean? You feel like you're indestructible.
Definitely.
And I totally just got off topic.
No,
I mean, I totally lost my train of thought.
But it's like, yeah, you got to have that. That drive, that vision, that dream. Because like for me, I felt like I kind of let it die for a little bit.
Me too.
And it was like, all right, but now life sucks. What gets me fired up? What's going to get me excited about doing something? And it's like, creating anything.
Anything.
If it's music, if it's like the first sip beer reviews, if it's just
about those
painting
still.
a sign, if it's just painting on a canvas, writing poetry, journaling.
We think very similarly.
Whatever I can do to put what's inside of me out into the real world, I think that's where my dream is.
Do you have a problem talking about your emotions?
I don't.
I do, but I don't have problems writing them out. I can't.
It's not the same?
It's not the same for me. I've noticed that over time. I used to really struggle. I still do. I can't really put my emotions into words sometimes, but as corny as this sounds, I can write them out, whether it's poetry or over an instrumental. Like as soon as I'm in a correct headspace to create, I can very eloquently express my emotions, very verbally sound. You know what I mean?
That comes through. It's apparent.
Thank you.
I believe it.
But I wish I could sit here and tell you how I feel instantly, but it takes a certain headspace.
I think it's time. I think at some point you'll probably reach that.
Hopefully.
I think you would.
That's what I aim for.
I was talking with my mom, and we were like, I was telling her about the journaling, and she's like, it's funny how you can find ways to put so many words into one feeling. And it's like you could say all these things and read it back and be like, oh, that's sad. You got hundreds, 200 words, 300 words, and it's like all you need is one. You're sad, dude.
I think that's a very mom way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I think that's something my mom would say
right there. Yeah. No, dude, my mom's great. But just communicating feelings, I guess, has been something that I've been kind of challenged and worked with in the last 2 years.
How did your parents? My dad? Another thing my parents did great was my dad. From a very young age, he always told me how okay it was to express your emotions as a man. He used to come to me, and my dad loves me. But he used to come to me crying some nights and just be like, I love you so much. It's okay that I'm crying right now. And I used to be like 6, not understanding shit. Like, okay, I love you too, Dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my parents were and I lived with women. My parents were divorced, so I lived with my sister and my mom my entire life, basically. I rarely saw my dad growing up, but when I did, I did. But so I was very comfortable with my emotions throughout my life. My mom was always, express your emotions, tell me how you feel. My dad was always telling me how okay it was for me to cry, for me to say I love you. So and I know you're very comfortable with your emotions too, because we can talk about how much we mean to each other, how much Ethan means to you. Yeah. You're very comfortable talking about that, as a man face to face, which is rare. So I'm wondering, did your parents give you that push, or have you always just been comfortable in expressing your emotions, whether it to be to women, men, friends, whatever?
No, I have not always been like this.
Really?
Yeah. I think music helped me figure it out. So I guess maybe when I started turning like 18, 19, 20, it's probably when it started. But in the last 2 years, because it's easy to recognize if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're angry. It's easy to recognize those type of things, but it's hard to do something about it. Especially when it gets to like anger. It's hard to know the right way to navigate. And I just want to say, side note, just popped in my head, your dad coming to you and showing his emotions like that really hits for me as a father. Because, dude, sometimes it gets heavy. And
I can't even begin to.
I remember this one time I came home. Dude, my dog was on the counter. She's a dachshund. She's like 6 inches tall.
Oh, wow.
I came home from work, picked up Mila. She's on the counter. The garbage disposal's running. It's Valentine's Day. I got nothing. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go over here in the hallway and cry. Mila came over, and she gave me the sweetest hug. And I was like, all right, cool. I can stand up right now.
Wow.
It's like, it's different. But no, in the last 2 years, I feel like is more so when I became more comfortable vocalizing what's inside. And it's been really nice. It's been nice to have a response instead of react. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by that?
I feel like it's like the one that I struggle with, I guess, would be anger, would be the emotional struggle that I have. And I think a anger reaction is kind of traumatizing. It can be kind of dangerous.
I would agree.
So for me, recognizing that, taking, the steps that I need to be able to remove myself, think, and then act, has been a huge game changer for me.
And it's hard.
Yeah. It's hard because anger is always a secondary emotion. You're usually sad, disappointed, disrespected,
worried
first.
Yeah.
It's usually one of those first. Then you always, I don't know, for me at least, get the anger out of that.
But your instant reaction is anger.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep snapping. That's probably bad for the podcast. I apologize. I don't mean to. My fault.
But no, being able to recognize it and doing something about it, it's a big deal.
It is. And it takes a lot for someone. I admire you for recognizing to take it on your own. Because usually for people to, I mean, I'm not saying you have insane anger issues, but usually for people to deal with their anger, it usually takes someone else telling them, hey, you should take classes or blah, blah, blah. But for you to realize, hey, I don't want my daughter growing up remembering when dad was angry this one time or these 3 times, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being able to like remove yourself, and you're still going to mess up. Everybody messes up, we're human.
Yeah.
But being more conscientious of those moments is going to be huge for, your daughter, you as a person, your friends, the people that surround you, your family, you know what I mean? And I relate with that because that's the one emotion I struggle with too, is anger. And it's a defense mechanism mainly because, as soon as I feel disrespected, I want to clap back and make sure they feel disrespected too, so they feel the pain that I feel. You know what I mean? It's a defense mechanism, and it's a bad defense mechanism. I'm not excusing it at all. But I've had to work on that over time. Instead of saying something petty or waiting a couple days to do something petty to get back at someone, take a moment, take a breath in, and just respond normally. Just respond how I feel. Hey, I didn't like that. Or it's simple as that. Instead of waiting another day to say something, oh, you shouldn't have left that there. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
it definitely takes a lot of effort and a lot of thinking honestly, it's hard to admit you have a problem as stupid as that sounds, but it's hard to admit that sometimes.
It's crazy because everybody, I feel like
everybody.
And it is weird to feel like there's shame in it when
it's a problem everybody has. But the shame is good to be felt. It's good that we feel shame because we're recognizing it very early.
Yeah.
A lot of, especially men, don't realize how to control their anger until later in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the fact that we're young,
after it's too late usually,
or after they've ruined their familial relations, their kids, their jobs, everything. So the fact that we're so young and we can realize it on our own with the help of therapy and whatever else, and others, and the people we surround ourselves with, it's a great thing for the people in our lives and most us. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. The wisest words that I learned was just be kind. Just as simple as that. And even if you are disrespected, if you are put off, if you are angry, if there's something going on that you can't control, there's a way to maneuver it in a healthy way, and you can manifest something special out of it.
Yep.
I told him that.
Saw Ethan right there, man.
Mm-hmm. Did you really?
It's his first words of the podcast.
Yeah, dude. My neck is just
my man
carrying.
Look at Yeah, I told him everything that he knows, actually.
So really, this is your podcast.
Yeah, this is my podcast.
It's all Ethan right
just
now.
Through he's your what do you call that?
Telepathy?
No, like he's your like
intercourse.
I'm in him.
Yes.
Parasite.
That's a little different.
Butt plug.
I think we're getting off topic.
Yeah, this is completely just derailing.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a moment where you were inside another man at the same time that they were inside of you? Because I have.
How does that work?
Yeah. I once interlocked fingernails on accident with a 40-something-year-old.
And then
we were both reaching inside of a case at the same time, and we just interlocked fingernails in like the slightest. Like we pulled away so fast. And we're like,
did you believe?
Do we acknowledge this or no? So I asked him, I was like, did we just interlock fingernails?
What'd he say?
He said, yeah. He knew it happened.
Did you walk away with your head down or your head held high?
I was at work, so we just kept working.
Yeah. Hey, fuck it.
Like,
shit happens.
Can you pass me my scanner?
Yeah. Shit happens.
That was crazy. So that happened once. What time is it? How much time we got?
It is 3:56 and 30 seconds.
56?
Yeah.
This has been an hour?
Almost.
Wow, really?
Y'all been yapping.
I didn't get to anything.
You guys have been yapping.
I feel like this is a good combo. Okay.
Definitely, I need to know. Zimbabwe still consisting of the same 5 people.
Yes.
Not the country either.
Not the country.
If you don't know, you don't need to. I've always been on the outside. I want to be on the inside. And you don't have to say it right here, but I need to know what that means.
Zimbabwe is my group of friends from childhood. We've known each other since we were 6. You know, some of us have known each other younger, but it's a group of 5 people.
Hell yeah.
It's
okay.
Yeah, it's a group of me and my 5 closest friends.
I'll just be the honorary.
You're the honorary
outsider.
I hope I don't get canceled because of that. Appropriating a country or something. We can cut that out.
It's okay.
We'll stop it there. I don't miss you. It's weird. I miss feeling misused.
Yeah, that's a hard one to tackle. It's always a struggle when you're being treated so well. But
for the benefit of someone else.
No, just in general, like when you're being treated well by a partner, you feel really great. But when you've had poor experiences before of fighting nonstop and yelling at each other, there's something addictive about it. So I don't miss you, but I miss feeling misused. I miss feeling
like I mattered.
Like
I was involved in this.
Exactly. So
I felt that one. It's being manipulated to fit you.
Yeah, it's always the thrill of the chase. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And
Sometimes it hurts too good.
And when you can't be with someone, you try to make yourself into them so they'll be with you.
Right.
So I don't miss you. I miss trying so hard to get with. I miss having something to try. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that chase for sure.
It's that chase.
It's the chase. Definitely. Dead air. Thinking. That's a tough one. Because it's like you could try as long as you want. There's no rules. Sometime you gotta let go. But it's like, damn.
It's hard.
If I could make that work,
Because
I
you're
might
trying.
try.
Yep. You're trying.
Let's see. All-time offense? No cap? Just question, yes or no?
Oh God, jeez. See, that's why I had that album on private for so long. That's so crazy because I just took that album off private 2 days ago.
That's when I listened to it.
Oh my God.
It can be very simple.
That
Or
is
none.
all
All-time offense?
factual. Unfortunately, I was a youngin.
All right. I think at this point, let's play a game.
Okay,
What's your favorite chip?
my favorite chip. There's these Ruffles that have been discontinued. They were like Flamin' Hot Wings. They were like buffalo wing style, and they were Ruffles, and they were so
They were
good. But they
good?
got discontinued because the mustard that they had mixed in the sauce caused diarrhea or something in a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but they were so addicting. They were so good. That's my favorite chip ever.
Did
they
you get the diarrhea?
Yeah, I was gonna
No,
say.
never did. And
Never got
and
it?
me and my roommate had originally put me on in college, and neither of us ever had the infamous mustard diarrhea.
We gotta bring that back.
Bring those chips back. Those were addicting as hell.
Speaking of wings, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings before this.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
usually get the Asian zing.
Oh, you don't get lemon pepper?
No.
I'm a big lemon
But I know
pepper
that one
guy.
kicks my ass sometimes.
Mm.
So I was like, all right, let me get a little
Mhm.
something a little easier. So I
Mhm.
went 2 down. I got the Caribbean jerk.
Okay. That sounds like a great time.
Whoever designs public restrooms to not have urinal stalls created that flavor.
Public bathrooms without urinal stalls. I thank you for
What are
feeling
we doing?
like that. What are we doing? That pisses me off. What are we doing? There is no privacy. Someone is seeing some dick,
They're probably seeing mine.
and it makes me feel uncomfortable.
And why is there always a pube in the urinal?
That's all I'm saying. What are you, bro?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I brought you barbecue.
I fucking hate those chips. Barbecue chips are my least favorite chip.
We're gonna play a game.
Okay.
We're gonna play overrated, underrated, but you have to eat one of these before you answer.
Okay, I can do that.
So that way we get your genuine reaction.
Ah.
We know if you actually hate something or if you actually love something.
Bet. Thank you.
So we'll do this at the end so you can get some gum after.
Bet. Thanks.
Let me see if I can find it.
Barbecue chips. Fucking hate barbecue chips.
All right, go ahead and pop one.
Okay.
Zodiac signs.
Underrated.
Underrated?
Hold on. Let me be a man about this. This is gross.
About to gag.
Underrated. I really
Underrated?
am. Underrated. I really think there's something there. I really do. As stupid as this sounds and as scientifically inaccurate as this is about to be, if the moon can affect our waters, I believe the planets can affect our brain chemistry. I believe the moon can affect our brain chemistry. I believe everything, and I don't care.
What season you experienced first as a baby?
I think that all matters because I think if you're a Scorpio, you grow up and your brain develops differently. Like you're
Cold.
like yes, like
cold out.
it's different. You would learn different times of year at different. I really do believe it's something so underrated.
I believe that too. I believe
Good.
that too. As a Scorpio, what do you think about the idea of like when baby scorpions are more potent than adult scorpions? Do you think the adult ones are just emotionally mature?
Yes, I think the adult ones have just fully developed their brain because I can tell you ever since I've turned 25, a lot of things have just made sense. And I'm like, oh, that's because my prefrontal cortex is like pretty much done developing now. You know, it makes sense. And when I was a young lad, I was full of fire. So
Yes.
I relate to actual scorpions.
All right, cool. All right, next one. A quiet night in.
I feel like it's properly rated.
Solid.
Yeah, I feel like it's solid. It depends. I'm more of an in person than an out person, but I feel like it's properly rated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I love a night in.
A night in is good.
I love a night in. If I'm out, I want to be in.
If I'm out past the time I don't want to be passed out by,
Yes.
I want to be in.
Yes, Cinderella.
As soon as I want to be in, I want to be in. I won't make it known. I'll be the greatest invitee.
Oh, I make it known.
Oh, you will? I won't.
I'm checked out, dude.
Dude,
I'm
he
like, can I go?
leave like
That
on
is
the dot
awesome.
of whatever time that like he wants to leave, and he's
I
always
It's not even
respect that.
It's not even premeditated. It's just like an internal.
It's
like,
just-
all right, I'm done.
I respect that.
It's great.
Dating app.
Oh,
Dating apps.
that one had a lot of sauce on it. That was gross. Overrated.
Overrated.
I've had my experiences. I did meet my current girlfriend on a dating app.
There we go.
6 years ago now. So that's something, but overrated. Definitely overrated. Just say hi to someone in person. Go up
That's
to them.
the best way to do it, man.
Just go up to them, compliment them. You can very easily tell if they're interested or not by the way they respond to you.
Mm-hmm.
If they just say, thank you, kindly walk away. If they say, thank you, I like your shirt as well, they're inviting conversation, and you can conversate further. Do not force anything.
Definitely.
They will feel uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
But go up to someone in person. Ask for their number.
Try it.
Do something. Just try it.
Try it.
We're losing that sense.
We are. It's not a muscle that gets worked very much these days. It's easy to swipe, man.
God, how do people eat these?
Michael Jordan.
Overrated.
Overrated?
Overrated. I do not care.
No?
Scottie Pippen averaged more assists, rebounds, blocks, and steals in the finals than Jordan. Jordan only averaged points. If you want to bring up the finals records, that's cool. 6-0 is very impressive. There's no lie in that. He is a winner. You can't deny that. He got buckets and he won.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're calling him the GOAT, he has to be the GOAT in everything. And he's not the GOAT in everything.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, LeBron James,
List stats.
is the GOAT in everything. He's now the all-time scorer. He has an all-time triple-double, which is, you can say whatever you want, but he has 10K of everything, which is cool. Even if it was only points, it would still be impressive.
Mm-hmm.
If he only had 10K points, 10K rebounds, and 10K assists, it would still be impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Any final series he's been in besides the one with Anthony Davis when he was with the Heat and when he was with the Cavs, he averaged the most points, steals, assists, rebounds, and blocks out of all of his teammates. So that's my opinion.
That's true, man. I feel like he's perfectly rated right now because he is in the conversation of it
That's a good
with
point.
the GOAT. But
I'm
I
just
think
a youngin'.
I think once LeBron steps out, he's gonna take the GOAT spot. And I think they're going to come up with a different name for Jordan.
What do you mean? Oh.
He just won't be the GOAT anymore. They'll just be like, he's not the GOAT, but he's this now.
Kind of like how KD, to most people, isn't the GOAT, but he's the greatest scorer of all time.
Yeah.
Kind of like that?
Yeah.
I understand
the greatest finisher.
Yeah, I got you. Greatest winner of all time, maybe?
Maybe best winner.
Yeah, best winner. He
Best
is a
winner.
great winner.
That's a great winner.
Fucking won.
Yeah. I like that one. To pair that one, Anthony Edwards.
Now, I am a big Anthony Edwards guy. So I'm going to say underrated, but I think he's perfectly rated. But I'm going to say underrated just because of how
much more he has to prove.
Oh.
What do you think about that?
I kind of hate that sentiment in a
Yeah.
way because I think I'm big on the eye test. If someone passes the eye test for me, that's all I need to know.
What's that?
The eye test is when you look at a hooper and you can just tell they're a bucket.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards, when you watch him, the way he plays, the way he moves, you just know he passes the eye test.
Mhm.
Like you just know he's a bucket. So
Have you heard about the comparisons? Him and Jordan?
to him, yeah. He's
Do you see it?
in the way he moves and the way he shoots, kinda, yeah. I've seen a side by side on TikTok or something, and I was
How recent was that? Because I have one for you.
show me. It was probably about a week ago I saw that.
Okay. This just happened like 2 days ago. Oh, you can turn that volume down if you want.
Yeah, I've seen this Anthony Edwards block, but I didn't know.
I didn't know Jordan did it too.
I did not know Jordan did that in college. Okay, I'm sorry, MJ. Maybe you're not overrated. Maybe I just hate all your fans.
That might be it.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm an MJ fan because of my dad.
Maybe
It'll probably always be like that.
I just hate. I think it's the conjecture I hate that the Jordan stans hate LeBron so much. So maybe I'm sorry, Michael Jordan, and you don't care about my opinion, but you're not overrated. Maybe you're perfectly rated. Maybe I just hate your fans.
It's just too much time has passed.
And
It's hard to like. We didn't get to witness.
we didn't get to witness, and because I did get to witness LeBron, and when we do have footage, I can't. I've watched I've watched Michael Jordan full games. I've done my research. I'm not ignorant.
Mhm.
If you strap me down to a chair for a year and you say you're eating the worst food of your life and you're either watching every 90s basketball game ever or you're watching every 2010 basketball game ever, I'm going 2010s every time. You can, or 2000s, whatever. You can pick any decade. But those 90s games are boring. Those turnovers are terrible. If you watch a full game, it is bad. It's so boring, especially the games that end so low in score. Oh my God, the offenses are run like college offenses now where the ball is passed like 7 times before anyone shoots.
Yeah.
Like, not like good passes, like just, you know what I mean? Just swinging the ball, like not Spurs type offense. Just, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just not big into 90s basketball.
That's fair. What do you think the Suns' rival is? If you could put a state.
Oh, I mean, the media loves to run with the Dallas because they love pairing us up with Dallas on national televised games because of the whole Luka Booker thing, but they're both cool with each other, so I don't, that's just a whole fan thing. But I would say San Antonio, Los Angeles, both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say those 3 teams.
Spurs or the Lakers.
Yeah, Spurs just because of our history.
I go for Spurs. That's the one that pops in my head when I
God,
think about it.
Dude, I'll never forgive
All of them.
all of them. The referees too.
Yeah.
I'll never forgive I'll never forgive it.
It's the only time that I ever listened to a basketball game through AM radio.
Really?
For the Spurs and the Suns.
Oh my goodness, what a special memory.
I have a few of them.
Listening to AM
Yeah.
the Eagles versus Cardinals, when Larry Fitzgerald had those 3 touchdowns, I listened to that on AM radio, and I'll never forget that.
That's a memory too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's really
definitely.
cool. You have a couple.
Because I remember
like that.
we were out camping. We were like, we're not gonna miss the game.
Yeah, we were
Turn on
too.
some AM radio.
Yeah.
Next to this fire.
Yeah, seriously. No, that's a cool.
Murray Stoudemire just dunked on.
Oh, that was back when what's his name? Shazam.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh my
his
goodness,
name.
R.I.P. Or no,
Did he die?
sorry, no, he hasn't died.
I-
Oh my goodness, we have to cut that. He hasn't died. He just retired.
Was that Al Green?
No, it's Al something though. Al McCoy.
Is it Al?
It's Al
It's
McCoy.
Al something?
Yeah, it's Al
Al
McCoy.
McCoy?
Al McCoy.
Ah, cool.
Shout out Al McCoy.
Shout out
Sorry.
Al McCoy. Glad you're alive.
Glad you're alive. Happy retirement.
We all just people.
We all just people.
Cam, one last question.
Yeah. Fuck, now I really hate my take on Michael Jordan.
Just get over it, man.
Fuck. Okay. Fuck.
But you gave both answers.
Yeah, you did. That was pretty neutral. You
Okay. All
played the
right.
field right.
All right.
Actually, you gave them all three. You said perfectly rated, underrated, and overrated.
Okay. That's a good point.
So I don't do this because, or at least with music, I don't do it because I think that it's going to be my way out. I do it because it's something I love to do, and we'll
Right.
see what happens after that. Another aspect of it is as I get older and in a environment where there's not many opportunities as a up and coming artist, I kind of do it now at this point to hopefully inspire whoever is younger to try, or who's ever currently doing it to not stop. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any kind of advice you can give a young creative, what would that be?
Wow. What a question. I would say, as simple as it is, to just do whatever you think it is to do and let it take its time. There's things that I'm doing this year, that I'm recording this year, that I've manifested since I was in college 8 years ago. Things have taken years for me to get here. I've recorded songs that I've written 6 years ago, that I've wanted to record for years, and they still related to me to this day. So I would say just trust the process, really. As corny as that sounds, some things may take years, some things may take months, some things may take days, minutes. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You're on the right path. Just do and trust in yourself. Really do.
Yeah, once you start taking those steps, the path forms.
Believe in yourself. Yourself knows best.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. You really have to listen to yourself. And it's a hard thing to do. Because with this new project, a lot of people don't like the voice. And that's okay. But it's something that I want to do because it's something I believe in, so I have to keep going that way. And I know eventually it'll stick with the people who don't like it. Eventually they'll come to like it. But it's a new, so just believe in yourself and just do. It'll take some time, but you'll always get there.
I actually was going to bring that up.
Mm.
The voice.
Mm.
Listening through all the other projects, you have a different voice for every one of them.
Yes.
So that's not to say that this is the one forever.
No.
But I was thinking to go along with like the mumble rap type of thing.
Mm.
I almost expected you to come in here like this and like talking like that on the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in that voice. But to go along with the mumble rap and the lyrics, you got this like, you like kind of like a, let me think of what it is.
Like a hybrid?
There's like a subtle danger to you in this album. And it's like your cadence is putting off one type of persona, but your lyrics put off something completely different. And it's very like, it's very rappy, it's very confident, it's very lyrical, it's very thoughtful. So I think that you have a interesting dynamic between the two where
Thank
you're
you.
like kind of put off this like, I don't know, it's like a distraction, but you're like, hold up, but I got this in the bag. You're like, hold up, but look at this. You're distracted by something like that, but I got all this, just sitting in here that you're not paying attention to.
Yes. And that is what I hope the rest of the year is going to entail. I hope everyone gets that feeling every time. So I'm really glad that you resonate with that.
Yeah, because you text me and you're like, where are the beats at? I didn't know you were sitting on an album.
Yeah, I'm sitting.
You're sitting on a few.
I'm sitting on probably about 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Including one of his.
This is what I'm saying.
I have 7.
Yeah?
I have 7 songs ready to record for his. For hours. Sorry. But yeah, I'm sitting on a lot of stuff that I'm just ready to record. But the timing is everything. That's why I'm saying, it may take months, it may take years. But just trust in what you want to do because it'll come out the way you want it to. And that's all that matters at the end of the day.
I love it, man.
Sorry I'm taking so much of your time.
What are you talking about?
I don't
This
know.
is our time, brother.
That's true. That's a good point.
I'm here to promote your album.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. Thank you for having me, I should say.
Yes,
I
of
was
course.
waiting to say that it was a line that was going to come no matter what. But I dreaded saying it, but I really do want to express my thanks and my gratitude for you having me here. It's very special. I always love creating with you guys. It really is. It's always fun being around you guys.
It's always fun.
So, and this, I'm gonna listen back and probably cringed about half the things I said. You know what I mean? But I felt that everything I've said here, besides Jordan being overrated, that I really want to take back. I think everything I've said here is with a pure heart, and so I think that this is me.
That's all I was hoping for. I
Yep.
was just hoping for a comfortable environment to explore your head.
And I think you got that. I think we accomplished that.
I think so too. I think this worked out really nicely, man.
I did. This is
I want
tight.
to keep doing this too. Let me know if you want anyone on here.
Oh, dude, I would love. This is. You are, and I want to credit you real quick. I'm sure you could have probably drawn it, but I just want to let you know that you're a direct influence on my voice change.
Oh, really?
Directly. I want to credit you firsthand and to your face because I know you have a higher voice. But I remember when I was in college, my junior year, 2018. I obviously can rap. I obviously am great with similes and metaphors. I'm whatever. I can rap, I know, but there was something that I was missing. I wasn't being genuine. Anybody can put great lines together. And I wanted something to reveal emotion that I was going through. I wanted to really start being vulnerable with myself, and because that's how I saw Lucky get his fan base, and that's my favorite artist of all time as of now.
Yeah.
And I saw him being so vulnerable with his fan base, and that's how he got such a big fan base, was being so honest with how he felt. So I wanted a way to do that, and I couldn't do that with my present voice. And I loved your high voice. I loved 2LA I was listening to, and because you had released that in 2018 at the time. So that was a big song I was listening to, and I loved it. So there was something, I had gotten put on new sleeping medication because I have insomnia, and it was hitting, and I was listening to a lofi beat, and then I started just kind of, experimenting with a higher voice, and I really, really started to like it and how it conveyed my emotion. Because on some songs on the album, like Dummy, which I really, really like, the voice really, you can really tell how lonely I feel based off of the voice. If I was doing one of my older voices, like rapping, it'd be different.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you, because you continue to inspire me. I'm probably your #1 listener on Spotify as well. So I just want to let you know that stuff that you put out, like, I wait for your releases. Like, I wait for you to put stuff out. So I know it's always feels like it's just friends supporting friends, but it's not. Like, I listen to your stuff because I genuinely enjoy it. Like,
I think it's cyclical. I think you feed into me just as much
as I feed into you. That's good.
I think so too. Don't stop, because if you stop, I'll probably stop.
Trust me, I won't. I'm way too hungry. If I could show you and tell you everything that I have going on, just it's gonna be a ride, and it's gonna be a very good ride, and I'm very excited.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
All blessings. I hope you much success.
Thank you. Well, you will be here. You'll be here for it.
Oh,
so
of course, I'll always be there.
We will always be there.
Yes, sir.
We will all be there for it. So
yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
It is.
Damn, there was something else I was gonna say. Oh, I Am Lumberjack. Probably my favorite song.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought that was gonna be one of the lesser played songs on the album. To be honest with you,
one of my favorite.
That's when I picked the pen back up.
Really?
That's my first song, picking the pen back up when I started smoking weed again. I started writing again about a month later, and that was I was in Flagstaff. My sister was graduating college, and I graduated the same college my sister did, and our mascot is a lumberjack. So I was just thinking up there. I was like, chopping up the trees, rolling in some woods, forest fire. I'm at ease, making a little innuendo, and I was like, I can work with this. So I appreciate that. I love hearing that feedback.
Yeah, that was my favorite one for sure.
Thank you.
Whole album's great.
Thank
Nice
you.
work.
Thank you.
Did you do it here?
I did. I did
Okay.
it here. I did it
Cool.
with Colin, and then I told I tried something new because usually I bring a lot of people into the studio because I like having, like I said earlier, I like having that creative energy around me.
Mhm.
But I felt I was getting too worried about people's facial reactions when
Mhm.
I was in the studio. So I told Dan, I said, "Listen, you're gonna be here for this for my new album recording sesh, but since my voice is different, you're not allowed to say anything. You're not allowed to tell me to redo anything. You're just here to sit here and just watch."
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right."
I just
And he
need you
just and
there.
yeah, and he just
Yeah.
and he let me just work
Mhm.
and everything. And then after everything was finalized is when he let me know his thoughts, which was really, really cool. But I wanted to
Nice.
take a different approach and have like a secluded recording session instead of inviting so many people this time. And it
Definitely.
worked out for the benefit, I think, because
That's
I was a
cool.
lot more comfortable. In track 7, Fruits and Vegetables, there's auto-tune in it, and it's after the main verse, it's me singing "It's always the same, it's always the same in the end."
That's you?
Right? Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to pick up on that.
Yeah. So, but it was the first time I'd ever used autotune, so I'm sitting here in the studio singing my heart out, but it's so weird, and I'm waiting for but it was so nice to not have to wait for someone's reaction, to just be comfortable with myself. So I think that in the future, I still want to have those big recording sessions with a lot of people, but I think I just have to get more comfortable with just being open and vulnerable in recording.
Was that a Rick Rubin thing?
No, actually, it might have been.
Maybe subtly?
Maybe subtly might have been,
Okay.
because I've been seeing a lot of Rick Rubin quotes and stuff recently, and his house.
Mhm.
I watched a tour of one of his houses, and Kanye said something like he's not an influencer, he's a reducer or
Mm.
something like that. He doesn't add on, he reduces, or something like that.
Mhm.
And it just started to make me think about that. So maybe subtly, yeah, maybe that was it. Because I really wanted to focus and harness this new voice. It's not finalized by any means, but I really wanted to go a new direction with this, and I wanted to make it sound good.
Definitely.
And working with autotune, you inspired me with Horizontal Beach when you told me to yell. That was the first time I had been ever told to do something that I was uncomfortable with in the studios, and it worked out really good. We got a lot of compliments on that verse. So I wanted to try autotune because it's something I'd never done before. So when I started singing and it started sounding good, and when Colin was playing with it, I was really, really happy. I was like, okay, this is something I can do in the future now. So though it was only 20 seconds on the song, it really benefited me as an artist and helped me grow a lot.
Just to
'cause
try it.
next time around, I'll be more willing to do choruses or whatever the hell I want to do with autotune. Maybe I'll even try one of the beats he sent me is a very Cardi-esque 2020 beat, you know what I mean? And anyone in their present day mind would use autotune, but I don't think I'm going to. But now that I'm comfortable with it, I just might on a part or something. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So
For sure.
There's
something to be said about limiting income, like feedback type of thing.
yes,
Accepting feedback and like sticking to what you initially had in mind.
exactly.
I think that's where the beautiful stuff comes from. And like, no, you can't tell me different because this is the way I see it. And your ability to be able to translate that and for other people to receive it, it's like a one-of-one experience,
yes, I completely agree. You couldn't have said it better, honestly. Yeah,
No, I understand.
yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand.
yeah.
I got you. That was the thing, I think, with Start, the opening song on my album.
Yeah.
There's like this part where it's like 3 layers over the chorus, and Ethan and I butt heads about it a little bit. And I'm like, dude, I love it. He's like, dude, I can't stand the way it sounds.
But sometimes you gotta stick to your guns.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I love it. So it's staying.
Yep. There's a part in Fruits and Vegetables as well. I say I need to be described as rapping like rent is due.
Yes.
And Dan, the only time that he I guess spoke out of turn, that sounds terrible to say, but the only time that he broke studio rules was he said, I don't give a fuck. You need to change that right now. And I said, what? He said, you You can't say I need to be. You're messing up the cadence. It just needs to be need to be. And then I tried both ways, and then I stuck to my guns, and I said no. I said I like it the way it is, and he said
That's
okay.
a standout bar.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
stands out.
and it works it worked the way I wanted it to. So sometimes you got to stick to your guns. But
Yeah, man.
I always but I don't mind the feedback. That's why I don't mind people saying they didn't like it after the fact. I don't want to be in the studio
That's
hearing
my thing
people
too.
saying
I'm
I don't
okay
like
with-
it.
I'm okay with feedback after,
Yes.
so I can move forward.
Exactly.
With that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But while
Right
I'm
now,
recording it,
this is how I
yeah,
feel.
exactly. I want to feel good while I'm recording it because if I feel good enough about something to record it, that means I'm gonna be feeling good in the studio.
Yes.
I don't want to look up and see,
How could we change this?
and I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? So.
No, I understand that.
But yeah, so
100%.
reducing was definitely a good step, but I do love those big group studio sessions. I really do. Smacking
when
the
that's
mint
the
leaves.
intention going in.
Exactly.
Like
I feel like Horizontal Beach was a great group studio session.
because we made one song with 5 people, and that's how it felt. And that's how it came out. As.
Yep.
And it felt like everyone had like
Input
into
into
each
each
part.
part.
you know?
Exactly.
Like, every single thing was everyone contributing to the project.
Yes. It really felt like a group project.
Yeah.
It really felt like a group song.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because getting not yelled at, but getting directed by Ethan in the studio was like a new direction for him. I'm like, bitch, what?
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I don't feel like
I was like, is he telling me what to do? I'm getting uncomfortable. Like I don't know if I need to stand up as a man. Like I don't know. I'm getting really uncomfortable. But then I like calm down and I listen. I'm like, okay, like let's try to make this work. Let's see what he's saying. And it worked out great, and it turned out good. So
Definitely.
it's definitely that.
It's a balance.
It's a balance.
It's a
You have to
balance.
know when to stick to your guns and when to be like, all right, maybe Ethan has a point. Maybe I should yell in these ad libs.
Because you got a standout part with the rapping like Rent is due, and he's got a standout part with you yelling.
Exactly, and that was all his idea. That was none
Both
of me.
of them
So
stand out. But
I gotta credit him for that too. I can't credit me for any of that. But thank you.
I'm a producer, man. That's what I gotta do.
You gotta
I
direct.
gotta direct y'all. It's my job.
damn, I don't think I have much else.
Hmm?
I don't think I have much else. Do you want to talk about anything else?
No, I was gonna suggest maybe we'll do this in the future, but I was gonna suggest I have like a 50-second instrumental I wrote too, and like
Okay.
a little ending freestyle type
Okay.
thing, perhaps maybe in the
Get some
future.
LA leakers going.
Yeah. Just like something like it wouldn't have to be anything serious, but like I just wrote like a couple like cool little like just like a 50-second song. You know what I mean? Like
Do it acapella?
yeah, I could if it.
Acapella?
And it'll be on a song that'll come out on the next album.
Okay.
It'll be just like a little ditzy.
Let's see it.
A little ditzy.
You know what I mean?
Can I hit that?
I haven't hit it this entire time. I'm proud of myself.
Good man.
Thanks.
I seen you moving
I've been
it.
itching.
I know. I've seen you moving it and moving it and moving it. I thought you were hitting it like slowly. I thought you were being like really good about like hitting it and not coughing. I was like, damn, this dude's ghosting that shit. I was like, okay.
I was just disappointing myself.
No, it'd be something like, it's a boo. Charles Hall, nothing new. In every lie I tell, there's always a little truth. And when she find out, she's always in little moods. My track record prove I like bitches with attitude, like the type of bitches who suck me off and then scoot. I mind my business. Shut the fuck up and just do. You can't relate. You, the loudest one in the room. I speak my mind too, but listen like you should do. You the type of stupid that would open the Pharaoh's tomb, trying to sip bubbly, hydrogen peroxide, open wound. I don't like fives, I'd rather play threes or 2-on-2s. And fives, they double and open Jim Devin Booker, my mood.
I prefer threes too.
I prefer threes. Fives are a little bit too much for me
It's
because
too crowded.
they double, and I'm on my Devin Booker shit. I hate getting doubled. It's my pet peeve. I hate getting doubled. I swear to God, if I get doubled, I will look at someone and say, "Are we really doubling?" I swear to God.
Pickup.
I swear on my life, I will do it every time. It pisses me off. I can't stand it. It makes me so mad. So I get Devin Booker. I get him when we really doubling an open gym. I get that. I get him. I get him. But yeah, so I just want to first. I feel like this is on every podcast, but thank you for having me. Man. I can't wait to be back again. 2, thank you both for being such great creatives I can surround myself with. You both inspire me constantly.
Of course.
And
same.
I wouldn't be the same without you guys, honestly. And you know that for a fact because of our early work together. And you know that for a fact because of our later early work together.
Yeah.
And I just told you that you're a direct influence on the Lighter Voice. I've always really enjoyed your style, so I want to thank you for giving me that inspiration as well. And I hope you don't view it as biting.
No.
If you do, I'm sorry.
Dude, I've took a couple of your lines.
Okay. So appreciate it.
Don't worry.
But yeah, so thank you. This
It's open
is
source.
This has been awesome. This is I don't know, man. This is really cool.
No,
so
thanks
you.
for taking the chance. I mean, it's the first time. I've never done this before. It's been tight.
This is sick.
This is cool, man.
All right, brother. And I'm looking at her like, let's go outside. I think it's time. I'm just a kid in time. That in time will show you that I'm not kidding around, kid, because it's this kid's time.